Good morning, everyone. What a special day this is for me, and I'm so glad you are all here to witness my public declaration to God. If there is anyone asking themselves, is this man worthy? Don't worry, I have asked myself the same question. Sometimes I wrestle with the thought, am I good enough? Am I worthy? But in knowing how far I've come and the necessary changes I've made in my life, I truly believe the Holy Spirit is within me, and I'm definitely worthy. I'd like to take you back to my childhood and the start of my journey. I grew up in a household where my mother was Catholic and my father was Church of England. My father never showed any signs of faith, whereas my mother did. My mother grew up in a convent where her and her sisters were treated poorly by nuns, including abuse, but I never saw my mother give up on her faith, and this instilled into me God must be real, so growing up I always believed. Although I always believed, I still went off the rails and lived the majority of my life in the darkness. I was violent and angry, and I had a drinking and drug problem, and in turn spent time in jail. But I still always believed and spent time thinking about God and having somewhat of a relationship with Him, but not enough to be a true Christian. My actions said otherwise. This is not a reflection on how I grew up. This is a path I chose, which was due to my own mental health issues that I never addressed at a young age. I then went on to have 5 beautiful children and was still in a spiritual battle throughout my life, resulting in a separation after a 22-year relationship. I became a single parent, bringing up my boys by myself. Then a person came into my life and led me closer to God, and in fact led me to this church. I still remember the first time I attended, and I wasn't in a good place spiritually or mentally. I watched Pastor Glynn give his sermon and at the end, Pastor Neil came and sat with me and prayed for me. He then introduced me to Pastor Glynn and organised for me to meet with him for Bible studies at his house, and I also meet with Pastor Grant weekly. Pastor Glynn and Pastor Grant have been amazing mentors and have made a positive impact on my life. I haven't looked back since then. I've become the man I've always desired to be. I've become the loving, caring father I have always wanted to be. Don't get me wrong, I have struggles in everyday life, but no longer have to face them alone. I have God with me, and it's a beautiful feeling knowing I am not alone and that God is fully present in my life. I believe God's timing is perfect, and this is my time to be in a loving relationship with God, my time to be the very, very best version of myself, and my time for baptism, and to live the rest of my days as a true, worthy Christian. Again, thank you all for being here today and sharing in this special moment that I chose to do here in the church, to have all you lovely people present to see how a life can be totally transformed thanks to the loving grace of God.